So I have to admit that of all the MSNBC hosts that I've watched in my time on the left, Chris Hayes is actually one of my favorite because I do find him just to be genuinely funny. Especially when he does his live shows, he is a genuinely funny guy. Now, I don't agree with everything Chris Hayes says, God knows, especially not since I have made my glorious exit from the left, but I still do find him to be amusing to watch and entertaining, and I do tune in every now and again. Sadly, I did not tune in last night when Chris Hayes had the gall to talk about the allegations against Joe Biden, and therefore woke up to find, to my surprise, that Fire Chris Hayes was trending on Twitter because Democrats are outraged that he had the nerve to talk about these allegations. So I've spent a little bit of time this morning going through this hashtag, picking out some of the very best tweets that we're going to take a look at. They fall into a couple of different categories. I'm going to talk to you about that. Then we're going to read an article from people who say, basically, Democrats, like, I don't care if Joe Biden is actually guilty of this. You need to vote for him anyway. Because that is the perspective of the Democratic Party on the Me Too movement, is that they don't actually take it seriously. They don't really care about women. They don't really care about bringing down people that perpetrate these types of acts. All they care about is winning, 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 power, power, power. Is there any better indication of that than what we are about to go through? I don't think so. But before we get into this, we do have an order of business because there are lots of ways that you can support my channel if you like my content. Subscribing is good. Double checking to make sure you're subscribed, even if you already did, because YouTube likes to unsubscribe people. That's a good way to do it. Giving a thumbs up, sharing the content if you like it is a good way to do it. But one of the ways that really helps me out is for people who want to make a monthly contribution on Subscribestar. Listen, when I make videos like this, I am taking time away from my actual real life job that actually pays my mortgage. And I love doing it and I want to keep doing it, but y'all make it a lot easier for me to dedicate time to this when I have the support to make sure I'm able to meet my basic obligations. So you can support at all different levels. It starts at $5 a month, so less than you're going to pay at Starbucks, and you get all sorts of great perks. Now, one of those perks is that you get a shout out in one of my videos. And today I have not one, not two, but 3 shout outs to give. Thank you to Christopher for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Lizandria for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to Jessica. You guys really helped me out. I am very, very grateful. Now, there is going to be one special bonus perk that's going to be coming down the pike for my Subscribestar subscribers very soon. And that's that you're going to get advanced access to a new community that I'm creating on Dave Rubin's platform, locals.com. So now is the time to sign up. You'll get your shout out and you will get to be one of the beta testers for my new community. All right. That's out of the way. Let's dig into these tweets and talk about this. So Glenn Greenwald, basically, always like the consummate kind of stays above the fray kind of stuff. He said this morning, Chris Hayes has been one of the media's most virulent, relentless, and arguably effective Trump critics, an all-consuming loathing for the president. But Fire Chris Hayes is trending because he covered the assault allegations against Biden. Shows what MSNBC has cultivated. Tim Young took a little bit more of an overt approach to this. Chris Hayes is trending on Twitter because Biden supporters are outraged that he reported Tara Reade's reported Tara Reade's assault claims. Flips through the rule book. I thought we were supposed to believe all women, and MSNBC never lies. Gonna have to update those rules. So in the upcoming tweets that we're going to look at, I took some time on this today, folks. I did a little qualitative analysis, and what I'm finding is that these tweets basically cover around 7 different categories of objection to Chris Hayes reporting. And the first category is, how dare he? How dare Chris Hayes do this? From the Palmer Report. And this guy went off. This guy went off several times. This guy is like now Chris Hayes' #1 enemy. He's got a whole string of tweets right here. He's even going to show up again later. Let's see what he has to say in the how dare he category. Chris Hayes may have just handed Trump another 4 years tonight by promoting what he knows was a false accusation against Biden. At the least, he'll have to work twice as hard to win now. I won't stop going after Chris Hayes until he retracts his false story and he's off the air. Hayes' stunt tonight was significantly emboldened. The freaks who have been obsessively pushing this fake scandal online for the past month. Hayes has also signaled to other TV pundits that they can get away with flat out lying about Biden. Sorry, Hayes, not on my watch. This ain't 2016. Even Fox News didn't want so much to do with this story because it was all obviously fake. I've actually heard that Tara Reid has been asked to come on Fox News like multiple times, and she's turning down those interview requests. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard. So she is like actually purposefully not going on Fox News. Not that Fox News doesn't want anything to do with the story. No one wanted to be left holding this hand grenade, but now that Hayes has kicked the door open, it will be on every network every day, unless we get Hayes fired and hosts see the cost, because canceling is the only way that we know how to get things done in the Democratic Party. Hayes wasn't the first MSNBC host to talk about this fake scandal, but Hayes falsely characterized it as credible and corroborated when he knows that neither of those things are true. Hayes flat out lied about something as serious as an allegation. Unacceptable. Hayes has spent 5 years lying about the Democrats to score cheap points with the fringe left. We've let it slide because when Hayes is going after Trump, he's fairly good at it. But so what? This doesn't excuse making up fake stories about the Democrats. Dudes gotta go. There are any number of people who can fill the 8 p.m. time slot and go after Trump just as effectively without promoting fake scandals about the Democrats. MSNBC should find one, or if it wants Hayes, force him to retract his story. Otherwise, we'll go after his advertisers. Ooh, Nelly, dude, you gotta like go do some meditation, man. Like relax. This guy is way too worked up. And again, we're gonna see him pop up again. That's the longest string of tweets we're gonna look at. This one set just keeps it real simple. Just want to put it out there. I unfollowed Chris Hayes, and I'd love to see everyone else unfollow the MFer as well. And I'm blocking every POS who continues to push that BS narrative. Wow. Blocked a lot of progressives. Or are they Russian? Now we're gonna see the Russian theme pop up again, but let's keep going. I've not ever liked Chris Hayes now, and I'll never watch him after this untruthful lack of facts around Tara Reid during his show tonight. I have zero tolerance for journalistic jokes like Chris Hayes. My goal from now until Election Day is to organize to get him fired. Are we just going to sit quietly and watch MSNBC Chris Hayes try to destroy Joe Biden while helping to re-elect Trump? No effing way. This will not become another 2016. And with this tweet, we get into the second category, which is, oh my God, he's going to help Trump. He's going to help Trump win. We can't talk about negative stories about the Democrats because they're going to help Trump win. Chris Hayes is such a Bernie twit, holding true to form. He helped usher in Trump with Hillary hate and is pulling the same S once again. Chris Hayes and Ari Melber are hammering the Biden allegation story. The voters reject Magic Grandpa, so they've taken to help him re-elect Trump. And this, we're kind of getting into the third category, which is Chris Hayes is a Bernie bro, and he's just upset that his candidate lost. Well, that's the last time I watched Chris A. Hayes or Ari Melber. Your candidate lost. MSNBC is still to blame for the election of Donald Trump. The cult figure they helped produce has gone on to destroy our country. Oh my God, it's all MSNBC's fault that Joe Biden got caught doing something he shouldn't. Ooh, Palmer reports show up again. Chris Hayes completely misrepresented the Biden Tara Reid story tonight. Hayes ignored that she keeps changing her story. So now we're getting into the fourth category of information, or the fourth category of tweet rather, which is, there's no proof. This is a fake story. Fake news, fake news, fake news. He falsely claimed that she has contemporaneous corroboration. He left out her connection to Putin, Russia. Hayes is a worthless Bernie bro. Cancel him. What's particularly impressive about this tweet is he gets like 4 or 5 different categories of complaints all into one tweet. Like, that is masterful work. It really is. That's masterful outrage. Okay, so now Chris Hayes and his guests are actively lying about there being evidence and corroboration of the fake accusation against Biden. Absolutely nauseating. Oh, here comes Chris Hayes telling us that we can't believe Joe Biden just because we like him. Hey, Chris, we believe Biden because the story is not credible. I am a smart woman and I don't need you to lecture me on my critical thinking skills. Chris Hayes touched me inappropriately in a men's room in 2007. Disprove it. MSNBC should fire Chris Hayes because the way we fight false accusations is to make more false accusations, isn't it? All right, now we're going to get into a new category, which is what about Trump? What about Trump? MSNBC fire Chris Hayes. When will he give equal time to the 25 Trump accusers? This is the new butthurt emails. Did you learn nothing from 2016? And then we get into Chris Hayes is basically Tucker Carlson. Chris Hayes and Tucker Carlson are probably exactly the same person. Chris Hayes is about as progressive as Tucker Carlson. They're both performers who make their money by keeping their audience wound up. Don't fall for it. What Chris Hayes did today is no different than what Tucker Carlson does every day. He gives credibility to a BS story with no legs to stand on. This is butthurt emails all over again. Shouldn't the Tucker Carlson of MSNBC, Chris Hayes, be fired for cherry-picking details to insinuate Biden actually did this? That's called propaganda. Can you just feel the pearl clutching come in here? It's like, oh my God. A political hit job. Chris used his platforms to spread disinformation like the butthurt Bernie bro he is. And now we're going to get into, well, really, MSNBC, you're sexist and a woman should really be doing Chris Hayes' job anyway. We have to get the intersectional stuff in here, guys. Like, Chris Hayes is a straight, cis, white man. How dare he? It's 2016 all over again. Time for Chris Hayes to be fired and put a woman who reports facts in his time slot. Didn't MSNBC learn their lesson from 2016? Chris, stop with the misinformation for ratings. We see right through you. But it ends with my favorite of all, Russia. Chris Hayes is a Russian accent. Did we know Fire Chris Hayes worked for Russian state news before coming to MSNBC? I know I didn't, but his botched reporting last night sure proves where his loyalties lie with Russia, because of course they do. Because this is what MSNBC has trained people to think about anyone that says anything that they don't like. Russian asset, Russian spy. And listen, man, this story came out on the Daily Beast yesterday. I actually almost did a video about this story, and then I sacked the idea at the last minute. But basically it says that women's groups have gone dead silent on Biden. They haven't said anything. I looked at all the social media for all the different women's groups, from the Women's March to Planned Parenthood to Women League of Voters to now to every major feminist organization that I could find. And the only one that has been talking about these accusations against Joe Biden is like the pro-life feminist organization. That's it. Everyone else is keeping their mouth shut. But, there's a new take. There's a new take out today on the Daily Beast. I take Tara Reade's allegations against Biden seriously, and I'm still voting for him. Here's why. And this is what I have been hearing from many of my friends on the left is, yeah, they know this is a problem, but they're still going to vote for him, and they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care that Joe Biden has dementia. They don't care that he maybe assaulted one of his staff members. They don't care. It's all about getting Donald Trump out at any cost. These people have absolutely no principles whatsoever. And listen, I can understand I can understand voting third party. I get that. I can understand not voting at all. I get that. I can understand crossing the aisle and voting for Donald Trump because you're so sick of the Democratic nonsense. That's what I'm doing, man. I'm not a MAGA person. I'm not like Trump, rah, rah, rah. I don't hate the dude, but he's just not my particular cup of tea. And I'm going to vote for him anyway because I'm so sick and tired of these games that the Democrats play. And I want to send them a message. And I think a lot of other people are going to be sending that message. So I get all those three things. I get voting third party, I get not voting, I get voting for Trump out of sheer unadulterated spite. I don't get saying I know that Joe Biden is not well and I know that he probably did some bad things, but I'm going to vote for him anyway. That's what I don't understand. Let's take a look at this article. We're just going to read a couple passages from it. The notion that this should be disqualifying to Biden is a race against Trump is patently ridiculous. It's ridiculous. After all of the things that this movement has brought us, it is now patently ridiculous to think that this should be a factor. Please. Two true and heavy statements. First, there is no more important task for Americans who care about their future than to defeat Donald Trump in November. Second, it's time for Joe Biden supporters from the enthusiastic Ride In With Biden bumper stickers. Are there any... does that actually exist? The enthusiastic Ride In With Biden bumper sticker types to those who would sign their ballots cast for him reluctantly to take the misconduct allegations against him seriously. I realize that the allegations Tara Reade has leveled against Biden are not a fun thing to think about. It feels so precarious. Precarious. I thought that was a funny word. Let's look up the definition of precarious, shall we? Look up precarious. Let's see. Precarious. Oh. I can't get in the frame here, but I'll read it. Hang on. Take two. Precarious means uncertain, unpredictable. I wouldn't necessarily, or hazardous, I guess, is another synonym. I guess that's better. The hazardous I can get behind, but unpredictable or just unpleasant, precarious. What an interesting word choice there. Thanks to our drunken Rube Goldberg machine of a nominating process, Biden is now the only man standing between us and 4 more years of Donald Trump. A dumpy, wet-mouthed crook who believes that scientists might be able to cure the deadly respiratory infection by injecting UV light into a living human being's lungs. Oh my God. These people just never learn. But a long-term consequence of Democrats refusing to admit inconvenient truths about their guy again could and will alienate the women who make the backbone of the party's present and the progressives who represent the party's future. I don't have any insight into why women's groups have been largely silent on the accusations. I think we all know why women's groups have been silent on the accusations, please. But if I had to guess, it's because what Biden has done pales in comparison with the things Trump has been accused of, and that Reade is, at press time, the only person to make serious allegations against Joe Biden. So what we just read there, Joshua has a funny name for what Biden is alleged to do. He calls it playing the piano. We'll use that term because it's nice and kosher. So basically what she's saying there is that it doesn't matter if Biden played the piano with Tara Reade. All that matters is that what Trump is alleged to have done is worse. That's all that matters. And we can forgive Biden for playing the piano as long as we focus with our eye on the prize of getting Trump out, because that's all that matters. Yeah, come on, man. Come on. And then she goes on to talk about the allegations. I'm not going to go through all that. You guys know. There is enough information here to confidently conclude that Tara Reade believes, and believed 27 years ago, that Biden's office was a hostile place for her to work. And for me, Miss LeMan, as an organizational psychologist, that's actually enough for me right there. That is enough. I cannot say confidently that I believe Joe Biden assaulted Tara Reade, but I cannot say confidently that I believe he did not. So in this person's mind, there is some question: did Biden actually do this? The Biden camp's talking points are that Reade is lying. I want to make a point clear here too. I am a very big fan of investigations. I think, especially with older allegations, the claims should be investigated. They should be taken seriously. But I also think that people should be presumed innocent until proven guilty. The reality is that Joe Biden hasn't been proven guilty yet. Absolutely not. He has not been proven guilty. And I think we all need to keep that in mind. If you are annoyed about what happened to Kavanaugh, then you cannot change your standards for this. You cannot assume that Joe Biden is automatically guilty of this. However, certainly there are enough questions at this point to take this allegation seriously and to want an actual serious investigation of it. But we didn't care, and here we are. If you care about women, there is no choice but to treat Tara Reade's allegations seriously. Okay, I shouldn't do that in mocky voice. She's being serious there. If you care about women, there is no choice but to treat Tara Reade's allegations seriously. And if you care about women, there is no candidate to vote for in November but Joe Biden. Well, isn't that convenient? The situation we find ourselves in is miles from ideal, but I'm certainly not going to vote for Donald Trump, a pea-grabbing teen beauty pageant changing room interloper who has been accused of assault up to and including the big one by 25 women and whose policies make life worse for pretty much everybody who isn't a billionaire or in Trump's families. I'm going to be honest, I'm a small business owner. Trump's tax cuts benefited me quite a bit. I might not like the guy, but to say that his policies have made things worse for everyone but billionaires. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I do okay, but his policies definitely helped me and my family out. And I'm not going to cross my arms and stay home like that will accomplish anything at all except giving myself something insufferable to brag about at parties as Trump spends another 4 years throwing babies in cages, publicly getting into spats with powerful black women as a way to score political points with his knuckle-dragging base, and drilling for oil in national parks. Well, doesn't she sound like a ray of sunshine? I could vote for third party, I suppose, or I could just go into my office and yell Medicare for all into my designated screaming pillow. Both moves will be equally effective in preventing Donald Trump from appointing the next 4 years worth of judges who will decide whether people have more of a right to their gun collection than women have to their own bodies. Donald Trump hasn't taken any rights away from me. I'm just as much a woman as any other woman. He hasn't taken diddly squat for rights away from me. Assault allegations should be disqualifying for a political candidate under normal circumstances, but we live in an era when we are willing to make exceptions and throw our principles on the ground and stomp on them ridiculously because they mean nothing to us. But nothing has been normal since Trump rode down that escalator and into the presidential race in 2015, and anybody who claims otherwise is, to paraphrase Tarana Burke, using sexual assault as a political football. I'm actually curious about, she's actually the one who started the Me Too movement, and I've seen interviews with her and I've seen her speak in person, and I believe she had positive motivations for starting it. I would actually be interested to understand what her perspective is on this, because I think that this is just my perception, I believe that she was actually coming from a place of good faith. She was working with younger girls and wanted them to be able to express things that had happened to them that people were talking about, but everyone felt uncomfortable saying publicly. And that's how the Me Too tag started, was to help younger women be able to say, yes, this happened to me too, so that they could get the help they needed to get over it. It started from a really good place, and now it's actually morphed into crazy town. Which is to say, if you claim with a straight face that Reade's accusations, if they are true, should disqualify Biden in a race against Trump, you don't actually care about sexual assault at all. You care about Joe Biden losing. Yeah, because as a woman myself who has been assaulted and who had no one believe her when I finally blurted it out several months later and no one believed me, and so I kept it inside again for years and years and years and years and years after that, I definitely don't care about sexual assault. I just care about Biden losing. You're 100% right, girl. Come on, man. Listen, I understand not wanting to vote in this election. I understand not being satisfied with the two candidates. I don't think Joe Biden's going to ultimately be the candidate. It just makes no sense. There's too much stacking up against him. But I do not understand looking at this situation and being like, I can't see it, I can't see it, I can't see it, la 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 la, it's not happening. That's what I don't understand. Take a principled stance. Stand by your dang principles. Otherwise, shut your mouth, stop complaining, because if you don't stand for something, you don't stand for anything.